This is a name you need to get used to hearing. Jordan Love. He has been a trendy name at the Combine, despite the fact he led the country in interceptions this past year. But look at the rest of the numbers. Almost identical to Herbert's at 6'4". He has the size as well. And so we'll talk about this here. And I want to bring Mike Tannenbaum in from the Combine because you're there watching all this stuff. And I would identify you, Mr. T, as the president of the Justin Herbert fan club. You've been on that bandwagon a long time. So when you hear McShay say there are going to be teams out there that are going to like Love more than Herbert, what do you say?
It's not the team that I'm on, because that's exactly right. I am the president of the Justin Herbert fan club. When we just go head to head and look at these two players, look at the end of the season. Oregon beats a really rugged Utah team. They get to the Rose Bowl. They beat Wisconsin. He goes to the Senior Bowl. He's the best quarterback on the field there. I thought Jordan Love did have a good week there. Justin Herbert comes here. I thought his workout started off a little slowly last night, but as the workout went on, his deep ball accuracy was phenomenal. As it relates to Jordan Love was really good a year ago, last season, 11-2. This past season, not as good. They were 7-6. They had a coaching change. Gary Anderson came in. You already touched on it, Greeny, led the nation in interceptions. There's a lot to like about Jordan Love. I thought his workout last night was similar. He started off a little slow. He got better. I love his height. I like his athleticism. I see him as a top 20 quarterback. But when you look at the body of work over the last 2 years in the big games where Jordan Love struggled against BYU, he struggled against Boise, Justin Herbert and Oregon answered the bell against two really good defenses in Utah and Wisconsin.
All right, yeah, good points there from Mike T. I want to ask you, because a lot of the Jordan Love has come from comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. Are you buying that?
I mean, let's pump the brakes on that just a little bit. Just because he's a wiry guy that runs around and has a big arm. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is special, okay? He's in a class of his own. But there are the traits that are similar, right? Really live arm. He runs around with the football, can make some off-balance throws. But there's flaws in his game, right? There are flaws in Jordan Love's game. He has very poor eye discipline. He's careless with the football at times. He doesn't see underneath coverage. So there's a lot of good that comes with Justin Herbert. We've talked about the talent, the physical talent that you look at, and it was on display at the Combine last night. I don't care any bit of what he threw, how he threw the football at the Combine last night. But there's some concerns about what he does with the football. Like, I've got this love-hate relationship with Justin Herbert. I did a game 2 years ago for Oregon. They were playing Arizona. Arizona's defense was like 110th in the country. Arizona beat Oregon. They scored like 10 points. And I'm sitting there going, why aren't you scoring more points? Why aren't you taking the football game over? Arizona State game this year, having the chance to take the game over. And so I see the contrast between the two quarterbacks. I've got to study Jordan Love more. Talent-wise, they're very similar. Decision-making wise, they're not.
And so this is the issue that you have when you look at Justin Herbert. He's big, he's physical, he has a strong arm, he's athletic, he checks every single box, and that's why our guy Mike T loves him. But his vision and decision-making, those are some of the things sometimes that they're tough to understand, they're tough to see. And so when he was playing in the Pac-12 championship last year, he got in trouble a little bit. He's trying to sit here and throw a double post. As you can watch, he throws it in here, it's tipped, it's not a completion. Okay, it almost was intercepted, no one really thinks much of it, but as you watch it from behind, he's sitting here, he stares down the inside receiver that's being double covered. He should go then to the outside receiver that has outside leverage, he has tons of space to throw the ball, but he still decides to throw it in there anyway. And so he has all these skills, and he has the strong arm, and you can get away with that some in college. But I worry about at the next level, are those things going to continue to happen where those will end up being interceptions and cost your team?
I'm told Tannenbaum wants to jump back in here. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, one very fundamental and important point, we're knocking both of these guys to a certain extent. They're both competing. They both went to the Senior Bowl, competed. Last night on a big national stage, they competed. And look, we're putting Joe Burrow on a pedestal, which he deserves, but he didn't compete in Mobile. He didn't compete last night, and both these quarterbacks deserve credit for doing that.
Okay, and Darlington, let me get you in here to finish this up. Mike T, thank you very much, and we'll check in with you again as the Combine continues. What are you hearing about this Jordan Love? Again, just be prepared to hear this name a lot as we work our way towards the draft.
That's exactly what I would echo. Todd said it. Teams are interested in him. You know what it reminds me of? Last year, for the weeks and months leading up to it, we didn't talk at all about Daniel Jones. NFL teams were talking about him. It wasn't until a week before the draft that we realized we should probably take that serious. This is the kind of player who could potentially do that.
Can I get this one nugget in there? Because the 17 interceptions, people at home are going to look at it and go, wow, he turned the ball over a ton. 17 interceptions. 3 of them were on tipped balls that are not on the quarterback. 2 of them are on Hail Marys. And 3 of them are on poor play calling that the defense knew the play, and he's throwing it to the right guy, and the corner jumps on it. So, that's 8 interceptions out of those 17 that I'm not watching tape going, wow, that's a terrible decision or terrible throw.
Look, we still have time to work our way towards this, but that's the name that you're going to have to remember.
We're so glad you're watching ESPN on YouTube.
For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.
And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.